Welcome to our channel and welcome to our homestead. This is our Toro Titan Max. We've had it for 2 years and today I'm going to do a 2-year review on it. And then we're also going to show you how to change the oil in it. Let's get to the oil first and then I will tell you how it's holding up. Oil changes on these Kohler 7000 series engines for the Toro Titan Max are really simple. It has a drain hose laying down here between the frame and the engine. And all we're going to do is untighten the plug on the end of it. And then right next to it is an oil filter. First things first, we want to get a little air into the system, so we are going to pull up the oil dipstick so that it allows the oil to escape easier. So the drain hose on the end is a 7/16 and so is the base right here. So it's easy to get this undone. I'm just going to use a crescent wrench and a 7/16. We're going to take this out and as you can see down there, drain it right down past the muffler guard and into our pan. So I said 7/16 a second ago, that was a misspeak. This is an 11/16. Once we've got our plug out, like so, I'm just going to snake the hose down through the bottom. Once all the oil is out, we're going to place our plug back in and we are going to move the hose to the back, because it's a little easier to get the oil filter wrench in here with this hose pushed to the back. And they shouldn't be that tight. You can see actually I didn't even need the oil filter wrench. I just undid it with my hand. And it's going to get oil all over this portion right here. There's nothing you can really do about that. You can soak it up with some shop towels if you want. I've got a shop towel here that'll catch a little bit of it, but it is going to run down into the guard for the muffler. I'm trying to get it off as fast as I can, but you can see it is leaking. That's the best I could do on that one. Whatever oil filter you choose to replace it with, don't forget to oil the gasket with some new oil and make sure the threads match and you're good to go. Once the threads come to a stop and you're touching with the seal, you're going to give it 3/4 of a turn more with your hand. And that's plenty tight. Don't over tighten it. Here's the oil fill tube right here. And it's good if you pull your seat all the way forward so you can get more space in here for your funnel. So if you want, you can use a small engine oil for these nice small engines, but it's not 100% necessary. This is a 10W30 motor oil for car engines, and it is perfectly fine to use in here. You're just going to get a longer wear out of those small engine oils, but boy, are they expensive. And make sure when you are filling this up, you use 2 quarts of oil for this Kohler 7000 series. Oil change is done and it's really that simple. Now let's talk about how it's performed for us over the last 2 years. Okay, how has this thing treated us? Well, I'm going to go down the list and you make your decision. The list starts with nothing. Absolutely nothing. This machine has performed perfectly for 2 years straight. I've got a little over 60 hours on it. We don't do that much cutting out here, but I run it through the absolute toughest hay grasses that you can think of, and some of them do get pretty tall by the time that I get to them. If you want to see the video of the types of grasses that we cut, click on the video at the top of the screen, which is our initial review on this machine. So how's the cut, you're asking? Well, it's perfectly fine except for a little bit of striping, but that's my fault because I haven't been the best at keeping the blades perfectly sharp all the time. And I have to mention how bulletproof this cutting deck is. This is a concrete block. I didn't see it one day. As you can see, it's got a huge gouge in the bottom and then one at the corner at the top. I ran that over with the mower and it got actually pulled up into the blades. The blades stopped, nothing broke, and the deck is perfectly fine. I did have to use a sledgehammer to get that out of there, but besides replacing one blade, spindle was fine, everything was fine. I am totally impressed by this thing. There's not one nut or bolt on this that is loose. I've had a couple of flat tires in the front, but you know, who knows what's out on my property. They did go down quite a bit in the beginning, and I'm not sure why. I found and plugged the holes, and they are holding a year later. What I'm also still impressed with is the speed. I have 8 acres and I usually mow about 4.5 to 5 of it, and I can get it done in under 2 hours. And that's with going around gardens, around chicken coops, around fruit trees and grapevines and all of that. I guess if I could come up with one complaint, it's the pins on the ROPS, or the ROPS itself actually, and trying to get it aligned to get these pins through there. I have to put all my force behind it. I'm 165 pounds, 5'10". I have to push physically hard to get it lined up so I can barely squeeze this pin in here. Also, while a good idea and thoughtful, the little tether, the cable tether on the pin for this other pin, on the cotter pin for this pin, it's just way too short, and trying to manipulate it around this bolt and to get it into the hole on the end of the pin is just a pain. But other than that, zero complaints at all. It works perfect. Now I know some people have complained about the noise of the hydro transmissions on it. I'm wearing earmuffs the whole time. It never bothers me. Some people say they're loud. That's not a big deal to me. I guess they're loud compared to, you know, a tiny little John Deere from Home Depot, but it's a huge machine. I don't know, maybe you have a different opinion on that. So if you've got a large property and you need something that's really, really tough to get through long grasses, I recommend this thing. I'll do an update on this in another couple of years and tell you how it's holding up. Now go check out this video right here, which is our video on how to buy a used tractor. Have a beautiful, blessed day. We'll see you next time. Bye.